It's one of the biggest questions we can ask ourselves. Why do we believe in, well, anything? In this explainer, we're going to dig into how that search for meaning didn't just give us comfort, but actually built the world as we know it.
So let's just jump right in with the big one. A question that's been rattling around for thousands of years, shaping basically everything. Did the gods create humanity, or was it humanity, in our struggle to survive, that created the gods?
Think about it. What really, truly separates us from every other creature out there? It's this deep, profound need to find meaning. We're the only ones who look up at the night sky or think about what happens when we're gone and just ask, why? And that's exactly what this is all about, humanity's oldest quest for answers.
Okay, so let's rewind the clock. Way back. Our story kicks off with our earliest ancestors. Just try to put yourself in their shoes for a second. Their world was, wow, incredibly beautiful for sure, but also just filled with terrifying mysteries. The sun disappeared every single night. Storms would just appear out of nowhere. And death? Well, death was everywhere.
For these hunter-gatherers, every little thing, a rustle in the grass, a strange shadow at sunset, it could all mean something. It had to mean something. And it was facing these huge unanswered questions day in and day out that sparked the very first flickers of what we'd now call religious belief. This wasn't some deep philosophy session, This was about survival.
So, you're faced with this wild, unpredictable world. How do you even begin to make sense of it? Well, humanity's first big answer to that question was kind of brilliant.
It's a concept called animism. And really, it's this incredibly powerful idea that, well, everything has a spirit. Not just people or animals, but the river, that big rock over there, the trees, even the storm clouds. Everything is alive, in a way.
And this wasn't just a nice thought. It completely shaped their daily lives. It was their instruction manual for the world. You see, in an animistic world, a river isn't just water. It has a spirit you have to respect. So maybe you leave a small offering before you cross. When you hunt an animal, you absolutely have to thank its spirit to show respect. A crazy thunderstorm? That's the sky spirit being angry about something. So survival becomes this constant, ongoing conversation with the forces around you.
For the longest time, we thought we had the story of how civilization started all figured out. It made a lot of sense. But then, an absolutely mind-blowing discovery in modern-day Turkey didn't just tweak the story. It basically forced us to rip up the history books and start over.
Okay, so here's the old theory, the one we probably all learned in school. Step 1. Humans invent agriculture. Step 2. People have to stay in one place to look after their crops, so they build villages. And Step 3. Then, once they have plenty of food and free time, they start building big, fancy temples. Simple, logical. Food first, then faith. Makes total sense, right?
But then this discovery came along, and it asks a wild question. What if we've had it completely backwards this whole time? What if the thing that really kicked off civilization wasn't our need for food, but our need for meaning?
Archaeologists uncovered a place called Göbekli Tepe, and this thing is ancient. We're talking 11,500 years old. That's literally thousands of years older than the pyramids or Stonehenge. But here's the real kicker, the part that changed everything. It was built by hunter-gatherers, people who hadn't even invented farming yet.
So Göbekli Tepe just flips the old theory on its head. The new reality looks something like this. First, hunter-gatherer groups come together, united by some powerful shared belief. Then they work together to build this massive sacred temple. And only after that do people start to settle down nearby, maybe because they wanted to be close to this important spiritual hub. The temple came first.
This is a huge deal. It means that it wasn't the need for food that brought us together, but the desire to connect around a common belief. Our search for meaning might have been the engine that literally drove us to create villages and eventually civilization itself. It's a wild thought. Belief might have invented the first towns.
All right, so once people start gathering like this powerful impulse to believe starts to change. It doesn't just build stone circles anymore. It starts to organize entire societies, going from these personal rituals to, well, entire systems of rules.
And once people settle down for good, that initial spark really caught fire. Things start moving fast. You go from Göbekli Tepe to the huge ziggurats in Mesopotamia, then to the incredible pyramids in Egypt for their god kings. And these places, they weren't just for prayer. No way. They were the centers of everything, power, money, the whole shebang.
See, as societies got bigger and more complex, belief had to evolve too. A personal connection with the spirit of a forest is one thing, but how do you get thousands of people in a city to live together? You need rules. And the game changer here was the invention of writing. Suddenly you could write down the rules, the stories, the beliefs.
And that's how you get the rise of what we call organized religion. You've got sacred texts with fixed rules, dogmas. You get a whole class of people, priests, whose job it is to interpret those rules. And the temples, they became the absolute centers of power, wealth, and knowledge. Think of them as the banks, the universities, and the government headquarters all rolled into one.
So, this whole journey, from those early whispers to the spirits, all the way to these massive organized religions, it brings us right up to today. And it leaves us with one last really important question.
Yeah, think about it. We live in an age of science, right? We're exploring space, we're unlocking the secrets of our own DNA. So with all that, why does this ancient need for belief still hang on so powerfully for so many of us?
Well, it seems like this search for meaning still taps into some fundamental human needs that maybe science just doesn't quite address. It gives us comfort and hope when things get tough. It creates this incredible sense of community and belonging, and it offers a framework for how to live a good life, a set of ethical values.
When you really boil it down, the story of belief is the story of us. It's the story of humanity staring out into this massive, silent universe and just refusing to believe that we're alone or that this is all for nothing. And that search, the one that started around a fire all those thousands of years ago, it's still going on today, inside every one of us.